What's going on, guys? My name is Jeff Pennachio, and for those of you that don't know me, I am the lead guitarist and one of the primary composers for the progressive metal group Design the Void, based out of Kane, Pennsylvania. But today I am here to talk a little bit about my new EP, Setting the Stage, which came out yesterday, January 22nd, 2021. For those of you who have checked it out, given it a listen, messaged me personally, thank you. Much appreciated. This will not be the last of this type of sound. This is like a more progressive rock, cinematic, movie-esque type sound that I had written probably about 4 years ago now, and finally put it together. I had everything ready to go. It was just a matter of sort of, getting the songs produced, which my drummer, Joshua Johnson, and Design the Void did. So thank you, Josh. And if you need great audio production, he is your man to go to. So, Setting the Stage. Yes, it's progressive rock for fans of like Pliny, Dream Theater, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, that type of deal. This is different from the music I normally write, and most of the time I'm obviously writing progressive metal, and this was a nice change in pace and something different to do. And it was inspired during the time I was in my classic rock band, The Stay, which was a local group here, and we still have a few of the members that have started another group. And I had to unfortunately bow out so I could focus on some other aspects of my musical career. One of the things that I definitely want to talk about and get into was the cover art. And I saw that cover art almost immediately, shortly after writing and finishing, Wilson Theater and Interposition. And I knew right away the cover art that I wanted for this EP. And I finally had it developed by a graphic artist by the name of Intruvia. If you guys haven't heard of him, check out his Facebook page. It's Entruvia, Intruvia. And he's also on Instagram as well. And the guy does incredible artwork. And I pitched him the idea. I said, hey man, this is kind of what I'm looking for. And what he sent me back was almost exactly what I had in mind. So if you guys are looking for great album art, Intruvia is the guy's name, so definitely check him out. The point of the album art was to really, paint the picture of what you're hearing as one continuous, EP. I feel like all the tracks can be sort of reminiscent of watching a show in a theater. I felt like the two guys on the front cover were a significance of, that type of upscale sort of show, if that makes any sort of sense. But that was just, part of the vision, and I thought it fit really, really well. And I also thought it was a little bit different, so it turned out so awesome, and I'm super appreciative of that. So, the next thing, record labels. So record labels are a big deal. Still, I am sort of half and half with record labels. If you are on a record label or currently about to be signed to a record label, they can do wonders for your group. I mean, record labels are where it all started. I mean, they were the ones that had and still have all of the connections we need to become successful artists, But with the shift of the industry and with the way things are now with social media, I feel like you can almost become your own record label or, work more independently from record labels. So I think that there are definitely the benefits of labels, as they will definitely get you into, into the door as far as playing shows and booking you on great tours with bands that maybe you've only dreamt of playing with. But I also think that there's a time and place for labels. I think labels are a great start to your musical career. If they take really good care of you, definitely stay with them. But if you feel that you can branch out from your label or branch off maybe after your contract is up, I definitely encourage artists to do that and maintain an independent image and face and continue to interact with your fans as much as possible. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole record label type deal. So live shows, right? Not currently going to be playing any live shows, unfortunately, just because of the pandemic. But I am looking to book, probably late this year or early 2022 for my solo work as well as Design the Void. And probably what I'm going to be looking to do is probably just hop on some of the shows with Design the Void, especially because when we perform, it'll probably more likely be in Pennsylvania, as that is where that band is based. And I'll probably be more of like an opener act along with, some other groups from the area. I really want to get back to playing live shows as soon as we possibly can. And the last show that we had booked as Design the Void, unfortunately we had to cancel because this pandemic ended up basically taking over everything. So sadly, that is when we'll be looking to book shows, but in the meantime, I'll definitely be developing new content, so keep an eye out for that. So any new music that has impressed me? Well, not as of recently. There's a ton of bands that I follow, and I've mentioned it in other previous interviews. I promise I'm not going to go into it because I could get into every single band I listen to and point out every single aspect of why I think they're important or you should listen to them and have all kinds of opinions that nobody probably cares about. So, as of recently, not really. I'm still following, some of the main artists I listen to. I'm a big fan of Animals as Leaders, Unprocessed. I'm a very big fan of Dream Theater, Between the Buried and Me, groups like that. And there's a ton of groups that I have followed for a long time that unfortunately aren't even together anymore, and I'm hoping will make a return someday. But I guess only time will tell. I've been hoping for that for some of them years now, and unfortunately haven't seen anything take precedent. So let's talk a little bit about the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affected the music scene. This, I think, a lot of musicians can speak for. If you have a great online and internet presence, I strongly encourage you keep that up as long as you can. I don't know how long this pandemic is actually going to be. I think that unfortunately what the pandemic has done is it has closed a lot of venues. It has prevented bands from touring and helping to, establish their livelihood, and everyone is just really in an uphill battle with the whole pandemic as far as the music scene goes. And that, to me, is a very, very sad state of affairs. While I understand that the pandemic affects everyone differently and everyone thinks about it differently, I would love to see nothing more than venues opening back up just so we can play again, even if it has to be at half capacity. We really just want to be able to bring that joy to our fans and to others as soon as possible. And this is probably the most important time to be doing it with this pandemic, as it's affected so many lives drastically. And I think that music is an important outlet for a lot of people, and I hate to see everything being held up, and if you feel comfortable coming to shows, then come on out, and if not, that's okay as well too. You know, but I'm hoping sooner than later, venues will be open officially and bands will be able to start touring as soon as possible. So a couple more things I want to talk about. The local music scene. So my local music scene here is Queensbury, Saratoga, Albany, and we don't really have progressive rock and progressive metal bands here. This is more classic rock and indie type music that this area is sort of focused around, and I'm just a metalhead, living in a classic rock world here. And my band Design the Void is based in Kane, Pennsylvania, and that is the music scene I'm used to and I know and perform most in. I'm looking to go out and perform all my solo work, as an independent artist here as soon as shows are able to be open. So, that's a little bit of kind of what this music scene is all about. Eventually, I'd like to bring Design the Void here and play at Upstate Concert Hall, and whoever else will have us, But I just want to keep the metal alive, no matter what and no matter where I am. So even if it's not big here, I'll always try to still bring it, as it's an important part of, I think, every music scene to have. And the last question, what are my future plans? Well, I have a lot in the works right now for Design the Void, and I want to just focus on that, and we're planning on shooting another music video, so that right now is the primary focus. As far as my solo work, I would like to do another EP within probably a year's time. So definitely, please give me some feedback, commentary, anything you can think of on this EP. What do you want more of? Maybe a little bit less of, because it's important to me that music does paint some type of picture for you. And I feel like this EP was a really good definition of that. So, again, by all means, please reach out, feel free, contact me any way you want. And I appreciate your time in watching this interview. I hope you all stay safe, and I hope that I can see you all soon. And when shows open back up, be watching for events, and I'd love to meet some of my fans that are starting to follow me and check out my work. So thank you again, and you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you in the future.